Deathstroke 18, Christopher Priest writing, Joe Bennett on art. Take it away.
So this issue really is the end of part one of this run, because this goes back to everything, right back to the Rebirth issue, and brings it all in, and goes, okay, this is where this all fits together.
Do you think that's indicative of how long it's going to be then? If this is like a trilogy of parts kind
I think
of thing?
so.
Potentially. It feels like this is part one. Obviously, we kind of know the outcome of Lazarus thanks to some solicits and whatnot. So that's like the start of part two. And,
having said that, though, it's switching to single shipping. So even though, okay, you get an idea of how many issues are left, that could be like another 4 years, given.
Yeah.
Yeah, potentially. Where do we start? Should we start with Slade and Jericho?
Yeah. Well, because I mean, we don't see it happening, but somebody's killed the bride.
Yes, which we got at the end of the last issue.
Right, and they jump back, and it's before the wedding. So we get a lot of what's going on there, and we see the Jericho and Etienne are fighting over the pictures with Icon.
Yeah,
and upset, and then. What else do we get? Oh, man, so much happens in this book.
I mean, we open with Slade and Jericho just fighting and, wailing on each other. Because Slade's like, yeah, I didn't kill her. And he seems to not believe him. Yeah.
Oh, and we also get that who she was working for, partly, is the Wall. So we get that there, which I was not expecting whatsoever.
Yeah, because that's exactly what this needed. Bring in Waller.
Yeah, because I thought for sure it was Hive, right? Like, we were told it was Hive.
Yeah, it seemed to be Hive.
Was she a triple agent? Like,
maybe? Or it was a swerve?
Yeah, man. It's been crazy. But basically, it's just like, you can't be called Father of the Year when you were, nailing your son's fiance, who was a double agent, who was cheating on him anyways, and they weren't supposed to get married. But yeah, definitely it brings everybody that we've seen so far kind of together, because you have his ex-wife and her new husband and Icon and Villain, Wilhane. It's French. And it brings them all back up, and Rose comes in. Jizeki picks Rose up. So there's so much more going on here because she gets there all right. So I thought that for a second Jizeki was putting something into play, but it looks like he was just picking up Deathstroke's daughter for him.
Yeah, and then he gives her the costume. It's like, hey, you gotta make a choice, be what your own person, and not just his daughter.
Yeah, be the Rose, don't be the Ravager, be the Rose, which I like for this episode issue, and it really did weirdly enough drive home the point of family, because Jericho can hate him, but it's still his dad, and then he had done all this messed up stuff to Rose, but he weirdly did it out of love. And when Rose confronts him on the Mong family, he goes, no, that's still your family. That's still your culture. You should know those people. I didn't hire impersonators. They were close to your mother. So, I like that you see his reasoning that he's messed up Grant, because we still don't know what happened to Grant.
That stuff sort of kind of plays into this at the end. We get flashbacks to that Rebirth issue. The stuff with the bear.
Yep.
It's all coming back up. And it's like, that's why this really feels like the end of the part where stuff from that issue is relevant again. It's like, okay.
Yeah, because you see some of that stuff replay out here. And then with Jericho, he messed up because he almost got him killed by getting his throat cut and completely altered his life, as it were. And now it's almost like he's looking at Rose like this is his time to make up for everything wrong.
But definitely.
By doing that, he's made everything worse. And on top of all that, by trying to save Icon, they've turned him into some Solomon Grundy-looking creature who we only see bits and pieces of.
Yeah, and I think it was interesting. That was in the section entitled Lazarus, I believe.
Yeah.
So, hints of things to come.
But yeah, so I'm excited to see where this goes now, because it feels like Connor said at the beginning, feels like a definitive end, but still nothing actually ended. Like there's still hanging plot threads to pick up on.
It kind of it brought the family drama to a close almost. It was like, okay, everything that was going on with Rose, Jericho, all of that is in the one place. It's all here. We're all dealing with it in the church, and that's it basically. So it's all that stuff that's right back to the start of the run. That all these fractured relationships, they're all been brought back together in the one room at last.
Yeah.
But it was a good issue, and it's kind of annoying we still didn't really get an answer to our cliffhanger from before.
No, but I think that's going forward. I think something is going on underneath that we don't know.
Issue 35. That's when you get an answer.
Probably.
Yes.
Well, because and you get a lot of Wintergreen being like, I don't want to be a part of this, but so I'm not implicating him.
He's kind of annoyed that they've used his voice for Slade's conscience.
Yeah, and so I feel there's more going on with Wintergreen because remember he's been going off on his own, and it wasn't to do just the stuff Slade had asked him. So he was at that gala thing where Deadline had attacked, and he had made his debut as Twilight, and Power Girl's still running around, after him. So, because they bring that up too.
Yeah, it feels like, okay, so we're getting little hints still of what's to come, but we don't really know yet. Of course, it ends with Jericho punching out Slade and Rose, and they're kind of lying on the floor, blood everywhere. And then the caption just says, "Next Titans, finally the truth revealed." So maybe we'll get some answers in this crossover. I'm
thinking, because traditionally Grant was the first Ravager, and he was hired by Hive to take out the Titans and failed. So Deathstroke, with his weird honor code, picked up it, and that's how he became their main villain. So I'm wondering if we're going to get a bit of a retelling there of the Grant.
It could be. Maybe there's almost like a twist to it as to what really happened.
Exactly.
And obviously it says the truth revealed. I wonder if that means some of the truth of what's gone on with Etienne and obviously this truth, whatever it is, will play into Slade and why he changes his outlook, presumably.
Definitely.